Will you be inviting evil into your home this fall? CBS is hoping that you will. I don't know. Let's find out if I will. Stay tuned, guys.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi guys, welcome back to Pilot Reviews here on AfterBuzz TV. I am one of your hosts, Linda Antwi, and to my immediate left is Mina the Wonderful. Welcome back, Mina.
Thank you so much.
Guys, evil lives here. It doesn't live here, but it lives on CBS. We have so many thoughts about this show, so thank you for staying here with us at AfterBuzz TV as we walk through it, talk through it, and talk about it. Guys, what were your overall thoughts of Evil?
So, this came just in time for Halloween. It's October 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
In the spirit of Halloween, it makes sense. It's fitting. This personally, that I hate horror. That I don't like the horror genre at all, and I'm not a fan unless it's a psychological thriller, because we've talked about this before, and, anytime I see a horror movie, I think last time I went, you're like, Mina, why would you go do that? You don't like horror. So, I wasn't sure what to expect, but when I watched it, I was like, okay, I can get into this. A lot of those shows we've been reviewing here at TV Pilot Reviews has been that, interrogation scene in the beginning. So I was into it, and then I kept watching, and I was just totally tuned out, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't like this. And then I would watch it again, then I would keep watching it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, no, this is good. Oh, it's getting interesting. Is this her imagination? Is it reality? Is it a dream? So I kept going back and forth between liking it and disliking it, with an overall view of, I really didn't like it. But it had some redeemable qualities, but overall, I'm just not a fan of this.
Guys, if you have not watched this show, we are a pilot review, so we only review the first episode. The first episode of Evil 1-1 is called Pilot, and we're just covering the pilot, whether you should dive into a new show, and should this be the show that you dive into. My overall thoughts about this, and it's unfortunate because Mina and I are similar in that we don't like the horror genre, so it's hard to stay open. But what I will say is this: my overall thoughts is this show is scary. If you don't think this Evil will be scary because it's on CBS, which is what I thought, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, because it's very, very scary. And I sent out a text yesterday saying, I'm so glad I'm watching this in the day, because it's messing with my emotions. And my disclaimer is, I am a Christian. I grew up in the church, and this show literally throws everything that you think you know about faith and religion into turmoil. It really does. It just messes with your faith. You really have to hold on to it. Honestly, for me, and I'm only speaking for me, I had to say a little prayer, because I was bringing all this crazy evil energy into my house via the TV, and I was like, this is just not for me.
It's because you said the prayer, because the Lord's Prayer is what caused that evil to come out.
I'm just saying, if you guys are about that life, and if you guys love horror genre, if you like the mystical and devils and all of that, you're gonna love this show, right?
I mean, not necessarily. Sure, maybe. I didn't think it was as well done as it could have been. I mean, I wasn't overly impressed with it. It had its moments for sure. I would say George, the demon, that was really well done in terms of the acting, and same with Orson. I think Orson did a really good job portraying this really evil, creepy, sinister figure. And last episode, or last pilot review show, we covered Barty Crouch from Harry Potter, the actor who played him, and we were covering that other show where we were just talking about how sinister he was. And now we have another actor who yet again is doing a great job portraying this sinister, really creepy figure. So I'll give that to the show. I thought that was well done. There was just something about it where I couldn't fully get into it.
Well, let's get on to our pass and play in a moment. For those of you that don't know too much about the show, it's a skeptical female clinical psychologist joins a priest in training and a blue-collar contractor as they investigate supposed miracles, demonic possession, and other extraordinary occurrences to see if there's a scientific explanation or something truly supernatural is at work. That is the bio for this show. So guys, it can be really just anything. It could be anything. Is it a miracle? Is it a demon? Is it science? Is it fiction? Who knows? So before we get into characters, let's go on with our pass and play. Are you a pass or are you a play? And should the audience be a pass or a play?
I would be a pass for this one, and that's the first time I think I've ever said that on this show. Which is crazy because if you look at the reviews online, the reviews are really good. I believe it was like in the 80 percentile. So I'm shocked that for like once I'm not really on the side of the critics with this show. I'm not a fan of it. However, you know, keep in mind this is only the pilot that we're reviewing. It could potentially get better. And we do have an after show for this at AfterBuzz TV, which tells me that there is, you know, a following of this show and people are excited about it. It's just for me personally, I am not excited about it at all.
I'm going to be a pass play. I think that for me, like I said, my bias is a little bit that the whole faith thing and what this delves into is not for me personally, but I do think that the pilot was done very, very well. I do think that the critics, like you said, are saying amazing things about this. I think that the team that put it together, that we'll talk about later, did a phenomenal job, and I think the actors are doing a phenomenal job, especially for procedural on CBS. I think that if you are into this genre, you are going to like this pilot and you are going to like this series. So yeah, I'm a pass play for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the actors and who's in it, and I'll let you take that away.
Definitely. So I'd like to start out first with Katja Herbers, who plays Kristen Bouchard. So you might know her from Westworld. She plays Emily / Grace on that show. She's also in Divorce. She's on The Leftovers, The Americans, and Manhattan. So she's been in a lot. I also want to move on to Mike Coulter as David Acosta. And he's most memorable from Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Men in Black 3, Extinction, and The Good Wife. So it kind of seems like he gravitates towards this similar genre of like, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of like action, sci-fi, fantasy realm.
And he's also worked with the creators before quite extensively on The Good Wife. So I think that they know that he's like a true actor and kind of, carried on with him in this new project that they're doing.
I liked him in this show. I personally enjoyed him. So yes, this guy right here, he's one of my favorite people, Asif Manvi. He plays Ben Shakir, and he's most memorable for The Daily Show. I'm a huge fan of The Daily Show because I love political satire and political comedy. But you might have also seen him in a movie called $1 Million Arm. He was in The Proposal, the famous rom-com with Sandra Bullock. And he was also in The Last Airbender. Now, moving on to Kurt Fuller.
Okay, who's Kurt?
Kurt Fuller plays Dr. Boggs. So you may have seen Kurt Fuller in Midnight in Paris, one of my favorites, Ghostbusters 2, Anger Management, and The Running Man. So let's wait for his picture super quickly. I like Dr. Boggs in this. The whole scene when,
she goes back to
she goes to the psychologist. Yeah, that's him right here. The Getty Images picture. I thought he did a good job. Like, he wasn't a huge central figure in the show, but I did enjoy seeing him on this. Now let's move on to Marty Matulis, who plays George. So
where do we know George from?
So Marty, we know him from Land of the Lost, the movie with Will Ferrell, which is pretty funny. Teen Wolf, Sleepy Hollow, and there's also this show called Harry Potter and the 10 Years Later, which I had to look into a bit because I didn't know what that was until looking it up. But Marty Matulis is George. The transformation was phenomenal. So whoever was in charge of special effects makeup just did an outstanding job. He really brought this character to life. I loved this character. It was so creepy and eerie. Now let's move on to Brooklyn Shuck, who plays the daughter, the young girl, Lynn Bouchard. So you may know her from Rise, which we actually covered the after show for here at AfterBuzz TV. And she was also in Instinct. So she's an up-and-comer young actress.
Nice.
She plays one of the many daughters that the protagonist of this story has. So let's move on to Michael Emerson, who plays Leland Townsend. So, oh my gosh, he really creeped me out in this show. He did such a good job. He was amazing in this. So you might know him from Lost. You might know him from Saw. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, I'm a fan of that series, even though I'm not a fan of horror. For whatever reason, Saw is the exception. You might also know him from Person of Interest and Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. So that is Michael Emerson.
Awesome.
And finally, we have one of the most important characters of this episode in particular. I believe he only appears in the pilot, from what I know. But we have Darren Petty as Orson LaRue. So, wow, what a performance in this one. He really brought this character to life. I thought he was one of the strongest characters. You may know him from Sneaky Pete, mm-hmm. SEAL Team, Ringer, and Madame Secretary.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
As the scary big bad. He did a really good job.
That was honestly my favorite part of this show. As much as I wasn't a huge fan of this genre or the show, I thought his acting was really well done. And finally, we have his wife, not in real life, but on the show, Brooke Bloom as Emily LaRue. And, you know, she makes her special appearance when she's recounting everything that happens in the show. You may know her from Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, He's Just Not That Into You, and CSI Miami. So it's
a, power-packed cast in this pilot for sure. And speaking of power-packed, the creators of the show are Robert and Michelle King. They also created The Good Wife and The Good Fight. They started with The Good Wife on CBS and then moved over to The Good Fight on CBS All Streaming Access. They're now back on CBS with Evil. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Evil and the stars of the show. And I have a quote here, so I'm just going to read it. So it says, "The Kings are back on CBS and back with a show that is smart as The Good Wife, only scarier. Evil premiered September 26th, and again, just in time for the Halloween season, starring Katja Herbers, and she's a Dutch actress, which I didn't know, who played the daughter of Ed Harris's man in Black on HBO's Westworld, which is kind of right up that same genre, Westworld, in my opinion. In Evil, her character, Bouchard, is a single mom of 4. And she's not really a single mom because there is a dad looming out there. We don't know too much about him, but for now, she's a single mom, and her mom helps her raise these 4 girls. She's a forensic psychologist in New York City, and her job is to assess whether accused murderers are sane enough to stand trial. Kind of like Mindhunters, FBI profiler, like in that kind of genre. And then she doesn't want to put her career in jeopardy by lying on trial. And so she basically walks away, and here enters David Acosta, who is Mike Coulter, a former priest in training, who's actually still in training, as we find out in the pilot, whose job is to travel around the world investigating various claims involving demonic possession, alleged miracles, and other phenomena that are not easily explained. So are you crazy, or is it a phenomena that is like a faith-based miracle?
He's a ghost hunter. That's what he is.
Basically, yeah. In lay terms, yeah. He's a ghost hunter. And then miracle hunter and all the stuff that comes with whether you believe in, faith and religion and all of that. I
will say, building on that, that's the one thing about the show that I really did enjoy, is that concept of, is this real? Like what you were saying, is this a faith-based show, or is this just kind of like this imaginary thing? Because that's a common theme in a lot of movies, like in Inception. Is this a dream? Is it reality? Or in Pan's Labyrinth, was this happening inside Ophelia's head, or was there like some accuracy with what was happening? And I do enjoy that. That was the part that I enjoyed. There were parts that I just couldn't like suspend the disbelief. Like I couldn't fully immerse myself in that reality because it didn't feel real to me. It just felt too like, I don't know. I can't explain it fully.
For me, it was a battle of, and I think it goes to the current times that we're in. So it's a battle of either you believe or you don't believe, and there's no in between. And the believers in the show really believe, and that's now their job. And the unbeliever, she believes in science. She believes in what she sees and what she can prove, and so it's not only a battle between that on a surface level, then there's the battle on the spiritual level. And so I think that the believers, they're not being quote unquote attacked on the show, like the protagonist on the show is, because she's an unbeliever. So they're trying to make her a believer in like demons and evil and all of that stuff. So there's a couple of different layers that are happening on this show. That's how I looked at it. I looked at it as in present day, whether you believe or you don't believe, that's one thing. And then if you don't believe, then here are the things. And then if you do believe, here are those things. And then all of that comes together, smashing together in this crazy reality, non-reality, demons versus sociopath versus psychopaths. Like, how do you distinguish the difference between this person is demonically possessed, or are they just a psychopath, which was really what this pilot was about. Yeah. There's
evidence for both, because we don't know if it's happening inside her head or not. Like we know that the papers, from the psychologist we're not in spoiler territory yet.
Let's jump right into spoiler territory, guys.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
So, I mean, there are things that the big bad knew that he couldn't possibly know, so we think. Or is there rhyme to the reason? Because we find out that the protagonist goes ahead and like backtracks her steps to find out, hey, this is what happened. And yet, as soon as she finds out what happened, that her therapist's notes got taken, we meet another big bad who. Is he real, or is he possessed, or is he really a psychologist himself as well? We don't know.
I liked that there was a logical explanation for her visions, because, obviously that was a very scary, intense moment where, he has the knife and he's trying to like cut off her fingers by playing the true false game that the show actually opened up with. So when you find out like, well, who else did you tell this dream to? She only told one person, the psychiatrist, and then she finds out that her file is missing. Then you're like kind of connecting the dots, and you're like, okay, so like maybe there is no demon after all. Maybe this is inside her head, and there's like some greater work at play.
Yeah.
So I liked that aspect of it, the being able to like justify what's going on with a logical explanation versus just being fully immersed in the fantasy aspect of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot going on here between the good, the evil, reality, and fantasy. Guys, we would love to know what you guys think. If you're going to watch this, if you're not going to watch it, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. And you can definitely always let us know here at AfterBuzz TV. And if you're watching us now, definitely give us 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to pilot reviews, shout out. We love hearing from you, and we love commenting back. If you're watching us or hearing us anywhere else, iTunes, Spotify, anything else, definitely give us 5 stars and check back with us, because we love hearing from you.
Yeah, and thank you to those of you who have responded in the chat. I'm reading it right now. Tony Robinson says, the show has an interesting concept. I agree, the concept is interesting. Kimberly says, he plays creepy so well. I assume she's talking about Orson. And then Tony also commented again, the show is basically Lucifer fused with The Exorcist.
Oh my God, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
I think so too. And speaking of that, let's talk about if you like. So if you like a specific genre, and I'll go first, if you like Emergence or Prodigal Son, which just came out this season as well, American Horror Story, Carnival Row, Person of Interest, Westworld, Law and Order, Fleabag, then this show is for you guys. If you love anything like horror, meets procedural, meets spiritual, meets the unknown, then you're going to really love this show on CBS Evil. What do you say if you like what?
I was going to say if you enjoy Paranormal Activity, Inception, Pan's Labyrinth, anything of a demonic nature, fantasy, sci-fi, you don't know, whether it's reality or not reality. Even I think if you enjoyed the show Maniac, you might like this show. And like you said, anything where it's like a Law and Order type show fused with the supernatural. So
Demons.
So the show's supernatural too. Maybe even Smallville. Who knows?
That.
And Burden of Truth, which was kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, if you like that whole supernatural thing, throw in a little bit of faith, and you're going to love this. Let's do our rating out of 5. Here, guys, is where we rate the pilot, and the pilot alone, 1 out of 5. 1 meaning 5 meaning you loved it.
Yeah, I would give this a 3 out of 5 just because it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, and it definitely had its moments. I thought there were a few actors that had really strong performances in this show, specifically the actor who portrayed, I forgot what his name is, Ozar? No, not Ozar.
I don't know what
the main character of the show. So, yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 5 just because it wasn't...
The girl catcher?
No, not the girl. The guy who they're prosecuting, that they're directing all the questions.
Oh, the
to.
last guy. Yeah, okay, Milk. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think he had a really great performance, as did the guy who played the demon, George. So for that,
Marty Matulis.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I like the concept of the show. It's just something about how it was executed I wasn't the biggest fan of. So it's an average rating.
I'm going to say 3.5. I think it's a solid procedural. I think that there were a lot of great actors in this pilot. I think that there is definitely going to be a fan base for this. I think that they launched at the perfect opportunity time of year. So I think that people are actually going to really like this show. I wanted to close out with this character assessment. So it says here, the character is an algorithm of Ben Linus from Lost, William Hinks from The Practice, and most of the other mysterious creeps. And we're talking about Emerson, has been hired for to play over the years. It's also a reminder of why he's been cast in these roles. He has a lot of fun with them, and Townsend is a great tormentor. And I think that he's definitely a standout in this pilot episode, and I hope that we see more of him moving forward. And because I probably won't be watching, I'm gonna need you guys to tell me if he continues to play a really great big bad.
Oh, he was so good. I wonder like how his character is gonna progress in this, because I can't even imagine him getting creepier than he already was.
Oh yeah, it was a lot. I watched it and I honestly had to say a little prayer afterwards. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV Pilot Reviews. Definitely let us know if you're going to be watching Evil on CBS. Hit comments below and let us know. Guys, till next week, we will see you soon. Guys, you can follow me on social media at Linda So Girly. Mina, where can they find you?
You can follow me on my Instagram at Mina Makes Magic, or you can go to my website, minawahab.com.
Guys, till next time, we'll see you. Bye for now.
See ya.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.